How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of HGO, the show where we talk about everything that's hot in the world of games. I'm your host, Ethan, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host with the co-most. It's Hunter. Hey, Hunter, how's it going?
What's up? It's nice to be here with you on this swell afternoon.
I hate you. Thank you. I thought
it's the false hope.
1 week you're gonna just stop using the word swell, and I'm gonna be completely happy that you did it. And we're also joined by, for the first time in a long time, it's Kane. Hey, Kane, how's it going, man?
How's it going? Oh, it's going well. Just been enjoying the sun.
Yeah, dude. You've been going outside. Must be great. Yeah. It must be great having to go out, have priorities, have work. It's been, honestly, you were on an episode a couple of weeks ago where I dragged you in for the Crash 4 announcement. Was it the announcement or was it the gameplay? I don't remember. It was one or the other.
It was kind of a mix. We were talking about Crash 4.
But it's been since the second episode of HGO since you've been on, and that's crazy. We're on episode 23 now, by the way.
It's come a long way.
Yeah, dude, such a long way. We've gone so far. We're so high.
We have webcams now.
We do.
Only happened 3 episodes ago.
We've had webcams, guests, 50 subscribers now.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I mean, hey, it's you pat on the back for you, dude. It was obviously that second episode that did it. It was all that.
Yeah.
It was all
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. But no, if you didn't know, this is Hot Games Only, where every week we come to you to talk about everything that's hot in the world of games. You can find us on podcast services everywhere, as well as on YouTube. Just head to bit.ly/thegiggers. That's bit.ly/thegiggers. Hit us with a sub. We're on the road to 100 subs, so we can finally have a YouTube URL. I love that that's the reason we're going for 100 subs. It's not because it's like, oh, popularity. It's just, can we stop using the bit.ly link? Who knows?
We just want the URL. Please help us.
If you're an audio listener, please follow/subscribe on your favorite podcast services. We're available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and everywhere you can possibly find us, except for on SoundCloud at the moment, because we refuse to pay to put it on SoundCloud. So, hey, head to linktree/hotgamersonly to find out where we are, and you can follow on all your favorite platforms. Bit of housekeeping. Next week is opening night live with Jeff Keighley. We'll probably be doing a reaction to that, so head on over to the YouTube on Thursday. We'll probably be doing it. I don't know who will be there. It's always a last minute thing where I just type in the Discord, hey, who's available? And then usually a couple of people show up. So we'll be doing that. That's going to be going on Thursday for 2 hours. And then other than that, I think we're good to go.
In.
Yeah. Pardon?
I said strap in.
Strap in, dude. Riveted. What sponsors will Jeff Keighley have? Will there be an awkward live performance that nobody asked for? Probably, so I can't wait for it to happen. I can't wait for
performances. Wouldn't be so bad if they learned how to balance the mic volume with the rest of the stuff.
My favorite part is it's gonna have terrible audio balance, and everyone's gonna be in a Zoom, so they're all gonna have their separate sections, separate cameras. There's gonna be 4 cameras.
Oh no!
And the drum guy's gonna be super loud, but all you can see is him drumming away, dude. It's gonna be great. Other than that, I don't think we have any other pieces of housekeeping other than to subscribe and follow us on podcast services. So I guess we'll leave it at that. This week, it's been a bit of a big week for you, Kane. At least a little event has just concluded as of recording called SGDQ. You had a little part to play in it. So first of all, Kane, I'm going to ask the question for all the normies out there watching this show. What is SGDQ, Kane? What is SGDQ?
So SGDQ stands for Summer Games Done Quick. It is an online speedrun marathon where you have a week of speedruns and various other gaming content, raising money for charity. This year they raised there's $2.3 million for Doctors Without Borders. So
thanks to the Minecraft community wanting that speedrun.
Minecraft, Bloodborne, is it Pokemon Shield was the final one? That. It always ends up they get $1 million coming into the final day, and then they raise $1 million on Saturday. Mm-hmm. It's I don't understand, but it works.
It's always crazy, right? It's always crazy. So it's basically a charity event that happens twice a year. Usually it's in person, but this year, because of COVID times, everyone is reduced to webcams and streaming it, which has led to some funny things. And my favorite part of GDQ this year is having the commentary be about 3 seconds behind the gameplay. That's honestly been my favorite part.
They figured that out as they went, how to offset it better. Because one of the things is they have you, when you're recording for it, they have you stream your audio separately and everyone's separate, and then they mix it on their end, and with that you get the timestamps of every person, and that's what they were trying to use for the offset. But really what they need to do is the timestamp plus the difference between what I'm watching kind of timestamp to offset it properly.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's just kind of awkward because, especially with the run I was commentating, the guy had his really terrible internet. And so I legitimately looked down, I was like, I'm 22 seconds behind. Gotta refresh.
My favorite thing was like there was this really hype moment where there was like a certain move or whatever that on your run that someone was doing, and you were all like, "Oh, will he get it? Will he get it?" And like you and
It
Spike
already
were both,
happened.
you and Spike were both shouting, will he get it? Will he get it?" And it genuinely happened about 5 seconds before they had started chanting, "Will they get it?" And I was just laughing so much.
It was,
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. There's the latency issues and syncing everything, but I imagine they got better as the week went. The run I was commentating was the 4th run, so
You were very early on. You did a Rayman Legends run.
yep, Rayman Legends, and it went well. The guy PB'd during it, so
Can't complain.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. There'll be a YouTube video, won't there? Up
it's already
somewhere.
up.
Is it already up?
You can check it out. Yeah.
So if you want to go and check it out, go check Kane do some commentary. I think Spike's there as well.
Spike, Vegeta, myself, DJ Thed, who is another IL player who hacks the game a bunch, and then one of the other world record contenders.
So yeah, go check that out. So my main question is, Hunter, this is kind of a void question for you because you know about as much that happened at GDQ this year as no one, because like genuinely you don't even watch it, right? So
nah, it's not
bit of a
really
void question.
thing,
but Hunter, we're gonna convince you of some great runs that happened that you should check out. What a great topic!
Boy, I
right?
love these games. This was great in the Pokemon episode.
Except Kane's gonna have some really good ones, and I'm just gonna have these normie like 2 that
I've only got a few. I didn't actually watch too many runs. I actually I put it on at times. I was like, this is boring, or the setup times were terrible.
Oh my god, the setup times were awful. Before Bucci's run of Ico, which is one of the runs you should check out. The setup times before that was absolutely horrendous.
Like you'd think an online marathon they'd have it all ready to go, just switch. No, that's not how it worked at all. It was like 20-minute setups.
Yeah,
at times.
Like, and it got better over the course of the week, but at the same time, those early start, it was awful. Like honestly, like those loads, like it was like T-Walk. It was genuinely was Hunter.
Yeah.
Imagine playing T-Walk, but it being an event. Like genuinely, you were
geez.
sitting there, and it took way too long, man, way too long. So, Kane, I'm gonna start off with you. What's one of your recommendations for one of the runs that people should check out if they missed it?
All right, I would say the number one run that I saw was actually not a run; it was a showcase. It was the Pump It Up showcase, and there was a guy that had a full like 2-player dance pad setup in his house, and he was doing both sides, and it was like some of the hardest difficulties.
Yeah, I've seen this where people do both sides of the dance pad.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's like legitimately some of the most impressive like dance anything I've seen.
That does sound really impressive.
Yeah, like I've seen them. They're fucking crazy, man. Like honestly, it just God, having it in your house, that must be something, man. You got like dedicated.
It seemed like it was like might have been in a garage. You could see his like washer dryer to the left.
Nice, but still, it's dedication, right? Having one of those.
No, but it was like crazy level of skill. Yeah. And it's I don't know. I didn't really research the guy, but it sounded like he might own or operate an arcade or something.
Oh, nice.
Because they had like a community of people that he was like inviting people to join or something. And I assume it didn't sound like it was just an online Discord kind of thing. But
that's cool.
Cool. So there you go. There's one I'm going to mention. Hunter, is you like this game, I like this game. We talked about the sequel to this game earlier this year. It's The Last of Us.
Oh boy.
There was a Last of Us any% grounded mode speedrun by Anthony Calibert. And the reason I'm not even looking this up, the only reason I know this is I'm a big fan of Anthony because I love The Last of Us grounded speedrun. It's really, really good. And I think people should really check it out because I feel like one of the things that many people, when they think of The Last of Us, is, oh, how the hell can you speedrun The Last of Us? It's like a story game, right? Full of cutscenes and stuff like that. And bear in mind, the first 20 minutes, feel free to just like fucking skip. I think Anthony even says that at the start of his run. He's like, trust me, the first 18 minutes are awful, but after that, it picks up. And I'm like, oh, that's great, because you can't skip the whole section with Sarah at the start. So that's basically you're waiting for the Sarah section to end because that's all on rails. But after that, honestly, it's so good. It's so awesome to see a game like that people wouldn't necessarily match with speedrunning to be so well optimized, especially on the hardest difficulty where you have hardly any bullets. You're basically min-maxing the entire run, and it's honestly, it's so good. And it's one of those games where it's not broken to the extent, especially with glitchless, right? There are some game-breaking glitches in Last of Us, but with glitchless, it's not one of those runs where it completely tears apart the game, where it's like, oh, they're out of bounds all the time and they're just skipping all that stuff. It's really a really great showcase on how the speedrunners have learned how the game works, like how it fundamentally, how the coding operates and how everything works, where they've got it to a point where they're optimized everything, in a sense that the game's not broken, but it's just optimizing every little asset of it, whether it's like just finding out, oh, we've done so many tests on this section that you know that if you chuck this exactly here and nothing spawned in yet because you have to interact with a certain object. And it's a really interesting run, and it's quite a long one. It's like 3 hours, so it's on the longer side of a speedrun, but I'd really recommend it. It's one of those ones where it's like, hey, if I really liked The Last of Us, I probably would give it a shot, but I don't like The Last of Us that much. But it's really fun to watch, so I'd recommend people check it out. It's a great showcase of the game, so yeah, definitely check that one out. Go on then, Kane, give us another one.
I mean, as far as recommendation goes, that's really the only one that I would say, like,
come on, Kane,
you should have to catch up.
More.
I watched other runs. There was like there was a bunch of Metal Gear runs.
Ooh,
I think
right.
the original Metal Gear was run on PSTV.
I saw the original.
And there was a Game Boy Metal Gear that was in the Game Boy block.
Like Apple. Interesting.
Yes, that sounds right. So if you're into Metal Gear, like, those were good. Plywood's a good runner, and he's been in multiple events. But like, there's a lot of runs that I watched that were just like good runs, and if you're into the game, you probably will want to check out the speed run. Like the final day, I tried to watch some of the Pokemon run, and I was like, wow, this game. I've never played Shield, but it was boring.
I literally was about to lean back and grab my copy, then I realized that I have a digital copy, so I can't even do that.
That game seemed pretty boring. The Minecraft run was exactly what you would expect. Like, it was an alright.
It's a Minecraft run.
Minecraft. Yeah. It was a glitchless random seed, so it was just kind of playing Minecraft.
Exactly. It's optimizing Minecraft. Yeah.
Before that was Bloodborne, which I find boring, so I didn't watch that. And then
Bloodborne's interesting. The Souls speedruns are very interesting, right? Because it goes against kind of the principles of what the Dark Souls games and Bloodborne kind of are. Where it very much is an atmospheric, exploring kind of thing. It's just like, we're just gonna out of bounds this shit and just run through with like the minimum amount of stuff we can possibly get. It just always seems interesting to me, especially with how short some of the speedruns are. Like, you would expect with how long Dark Souls takes to beat
those games are.
Yeah.
Oh, I just had a thought though about another game.
Go for it.
Was Final Fantasy. I think it was Final Fantasy. I don't remember which one it was, but it was run by a guy whose username is boring_borin.
That's a good username. I like it.
Oh, that's a boring run.
That's cool.
But
the only one.
Yeah, no, that was just all I had to really think about. Most of the event, like, I don't really watch when I go to GDQs. I don't really watch much of the event other than like unless there's like a specific run or thing I want to watch or I'm commentating. It's just we'll put it on background noise or something. It's just hanging out. So when I'm not at a GDQ, I kind of have that same mentality where it's like, I don't, unless there's something I want to watch. It's just Yeah.
The only other run that I'll mention, the final one that I'll mention, is the Sly run. Not necessarily because I like Sly 1 as a speedrun. It's pretty interesting. I wouldn't necessarily say it's like my favorite speedrun ever or whatever. But the main thing that I recommend people go and watch it is because Kevin Miller, the voice of Sly Cooper himself, is co-commenting on that run. And I thought that was just a nice little touch that he got him. And also, I just want to say this. If there's any voice actor that I want to get on this show, it's him, dude. It's Kevin Miller. We need to make it happen, dude. Get us to 100 subs
cool.
so that I can blackmail more people. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd love to have Kevin Miller on, man, because that guy
Blackmail.
just seemed that guy. Kevin Miller is one of those rare cases with voice actors where not only is he actually like a nice guy, not a dick, but he also actually gives a shit about the games that he's been in, right? Where he really does love Sly and the franchise. So it's like, it's really great to see him just be like, yeah, sure, I'll coke on the Sly run, why not? And it's just like, it's one of those things that's pretty cool. And Sly's pretty interesting. I think Xanthro did it. That sounds about right. Kane's smirking. I don't know what you're smirking at, Kane.
I just was looking at the cup Hunter was drinking out of.
Oh, it's Chalice.
It was very
Chalice. Chalice.
You like it?
It was interesting. I just needed to look at it.
Hunter's got his Chalice, man. At this point, I just can't look up. Like, sometimes Hunter's just like, yeah.
Back there's the shelf that has them all.
You have a whole shelf of chalices?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like it's show and tell time now, Hunter. You brought it on yourself.
Oh,
Bring out the chalices, dude. Bring out the chalices.
Okay, so
this podcast is going off the rails. In fact, I'm even going to timestamp.
Sorry, audio listeners.
That's GDQ talking. That's GDQ talked about. We're genuinely going to have a thumbnail, a timestamp that's just called Chalice Time. Chalice Time. Sorry, audio listeners, but if you are an audio listener, did you know you can get a video version? Yeah, you need to get onto get to YouTube, bit.ly/thegiggers. Get on over here. Head on over to this timestamp because oh my god, that's more than I thought.
It's a lot of chalice.
Back in. I can't believe that this is happening. But
hey,
right.
dude, we're sharing.
All right, so what's taking up most of the shelf space is I have like 4 of these because they came in a set. It's like some kind of old Lord of the Rings thing that my brother gave me because he found it at our grandparents' place.
Cool.
Still cool. It used to have like this light up function, but you know it's old, so it doesn't work anymore.
Light up chalice, dude.
This has got like a wolf or something on
it.
I've
seen that one.
Yeah. This one's not a chalice, but it's a skull-shaped jar.
Very cool.
Also holds fluid.
Perfect.
Yeah. And this last one here.
Oh, that one's like... Yeah,
I've been drinking out of this one a few times on camera, so... probably seen it before.
There you go, boys. Chalice Time with Hunter. Can we get 50 likes for the next episode, Chalice Time?
Oh my god. It'd be so silly.
Then Hunter will have to buy more chalices. I love it. So there you go. Man. Those are our thoughts on SGDQ and Hunter's chalices. Wonderful. What a great tangent. I guess another tangent would be the Nintendo Indie Showcase. Wow, that was so smooth. What a smooth continuation of the podcast.
Hey, other things going on this week.
Yeah, Nintendo's Indie Showcase, and I'm struggling to write timestamps here. 18:30, cool. Very professional. But yeah, did you guys have a chance to actually check out the Indie Showcase? Or I know, Kane, you've actually played one of the games, which is interesting.
I didn't watch the showcase, but then I found out one of the games I was playing was in it. So
yeah. And we'll get to that in a second, but I watched the showcase. I assume you also watched the showcase, Hunter, because...
I did watch it. I kind of struggled to remember a lot of specific things besides the first announcement.
Yeah, what was your highlight? Yeah, there you go.
Hades from Supergiant finally coming to consoles. This makes me so happy. I love Supergiant. I've been putting off playing that because I knew it was going to eventually come. And now I'm happy that it will.
Nice. For those who are unaware, what is Hades? How would you describe it?
Hades is this kind of Greek mythology-inspired roguelike type of game. That's the extent that I know about it because I haven't played it yet. But, you know...
I hate you. Not you, Hunter. Audio listeners,
what was that face you were making there?
This podcast has gone downhill. Hunter, please carry on.
That's the extent that I know about Hades because I haven't played it yet, but, you know, I'm not really into roguelikes that much, but if anyone can make one that I'm going to be into, I expect it to be Supergiant because I'm pretty sure they could sell me a vial of poison and I'd buy it.
Yeah. Very cool, Hunter. I swear I wasn't laughing at you, I swear. This
I
has
don't know
gone
what happened
downhill.
between you two, but okay.
I was just smiling. I saw that Kane was smirking, and I was also then smirking, and then it was just too broke first. And that's why I said I hate you, because it was. There you go.
All
Long
right.
story. Okay,
Cool.
that's it. That's it. We're done. We're back to a structured podcast. So the Nintendo Indie Showcase happened, and there's a couple of games. Watch as my screen goes white, my face cam goes white as I quickly look at some of the games. Hades was a one that I was interested in. I'm just gonna tell you a couple that I thought looked cool, but I'm a cheapskate and haven't bought them. A Short Hike looked really interesting for those who watched an indie showcase. That was the one that kind of had like the retro kind of DS looking kind of visuals, where it was all kind of pixely but not too pixely. And it was about like this bird that's going on like an expedition, and it's apparently it's only like 2 or so hours long, but it's apparently really cheap and it's apparently really good. So you should definitely check that one out. That one was definitely a highlight for me. That Raji game looked really interesting, based on like Indian mythology and stuff like that. Was it Indian? I believe it was Hindu.
I think so. That's what it sounded like.
Hindu mythology.
I remember it being a mythology that I haven't really heard very many things pull from as far as games and stuff. So
yeah, that was what was really interesting for me. Was someone's doing like a mythology based game, and it's not just your standard, Greek or
Norse.
The Norse, the Greek and Norse are the two kind of just beaten to death mythologies at the moment in video games, where it's just like everyone's done everything they could possibly do with it. But no, very interesting. I want to give a shout out to Bear and Breakfast, which looked really dumb. It was basically this, for Kane who didn't see it, was basically kind of imagine Stardew Valley, but instead you're a bear who is running a B&B. And there you go. That's basically the game. It just looked really silly, and it just looked really goofy, and the writing looked pretty clever, so I was kind of into it. Looking down here, Untitled Goose Game got co-op, which is a great plus to that game.
Spiritfarer looked kind of cool. I don't know if it's necessarily the kind of game that I would actually go out of my way to play, but it looked like its premise was sort of neat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
as far as the context of it and the art style and all that.
Yeah, I agree.
As far as it being like a resource management game, I'm not too big into those, but if I was going to try one, that seems like one I'd look into.
Mm-hmm. Spiritfarer was the one where it was on about you sailing people to the afterlife or whatever, was it? Was that the one that was?
Yeah, that's
kind of the gist of it. You're in the afterlife and your job is to direct the spirits the right way, essentially, on a cruise or whatever, like a little sailboat kind of deal. It looked fun though. Final one that I just want to there's two more that I wanted to quickly mention. Was Garden Story was one of them, which just looked really interesting. Again, it looks like another one of those kind of, at first I thought it was like a sim, but it actually turns out it looks like if Stardew kind of crossed an RPG. It kind of looked like that. Where it was kind of Stardew visuals and style, and it's set in the forest in a town, but instead it's an RPG, and I thought that was pretty interesting. And then the final one that I wanted to mention, which was out, and I feel like it didn't get enough recognition, was that Takeshi and Hiroshi game, which was basically a story about...
right.
I don't remember if they were brothers. Was it brothers? It was two family...
I think they were brothers.
Yeah, it was either two friends or two brothers who are family members. Two family members going through, like, basically... The idea behind it, Kane, is you're in your free time, you're basically like an indie developer, and you make games for your younger brother to enjoy, basically. And so it's kind of like a management game where you're kind of making a game that isn't too difficult for your stupid younger brother, but also is engaging enough. And it looked like it had a interesting story to go along with it, to do with loss and stuff like that. So it looked equally depressing and fun. So there you go. You should check those out.
Yeah, that one looked like it has the potential to be rather touching.
Yeah, it does. But for one of them, one game in particular, I also think stood out. But Kane, you actually have played it, so we don't even have to pretend, because you actually played it. Yeah. Manifold Garden.
So Manifold Garden is kind of like this mind-bending puzzle game that think like Portal, except for instead of having you build portals to loop the room, the stages all just are repeatedly rendered. So like if you fall off a ledge, you then are falling in from above the stage as you fall down through it. And you're able to manipulate gravity, and you can, fall horizontally and everything else. And there's just a lot of like looping level structures and everything. And visually, it's just really cool. They really went in on that like visual experience of it. Because it's absolutely gorgeous. Puzzle wise, It's not like the most complicated game. It's the hardest part is just trying to absorb in what the level is shaped like to actually figure out what to do. So it's a little bit more enigmatic than it is executionally challenging. But then there are additional layers to the game. So most people might just play through it and then get to the end like, hey, I beat it. But if you go deeper, there's ways to like loop sections of different areas into another one, and it gets very confusing. I beat it once, and then I've been trying to do it without. There's like, I don't know. I guess it's called 0%. There's these like 4-dimensional cubes that grow the world, and you can beat the game without using any of them. And I've gotten to a point where I don't know how to progress. So it's interesting that because like it is like pretty remedial in terms of like
talking,
the basic
Kate.
challenge.
You keep talking just to, if what people are wondering on audio version why I'm running off, my dog's now screaming in the back of the garden, so I've got to go and deal something. So please carry on. Run the podcast without me, Hunter. This is your job. You're now the host with the most. Do it.
Oh man, I'm not ready.
All right,
short of a notice. Let's go, Kane.
Yeah. So the level of complexity goes from like, I don't know, I think the average player could figure out how to beat the game eventually,
Cool.
to like me getting confused.
And you play a lot of puzzle games.
Yeah. So
that's a good indicator.
It's a pretty good range.
That is a good range. I like it when games are good enough for you to play through as like a normie the first time, and then if you want to go deeper because it's interesting to you, it can. I've always been a fan of stuff like that.
Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff where like you think it's a repeated pattern. Like you can, let's say you got a hallway and there's like, literally just a door on this side and a door on this side, and there's a little passageway that you can walk across. And it's like, oh, this looks, you look up, you look down, you just see that passageway repeated a bunch, and you look over, you see it repeated a bunch. You're like, this is a really tiny hallway. But if you fall off the ledge and you loop around one of the pillars just right, you end up portaling into another area.
Oh, nice.
Because it's not actually repeated entirely. It just looks like it is.
It just looks like it's repeated. Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
I'm sure it was one of those games where it's like, I feel like I will eventually play it. It came out like instantly, and I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to play that right now, but it sounds like one of those really
actually, it's kind of apparently already been out on what? No, it's not Steam, but on
Epic Games.
Epic, yeah. It came out early on Epic. This was the console release, and then in October maybe it comes out on Steam.
Nice.
But it's absolutely gorgeous. Like it's just kind of very. You look out and you can just see like the stage repeat a bunch, and it just is a nice visual effect.
It's like one of those optical illusions. Like it very much does look like one of those mind bending kind of. I don't remember the name of the exact illusion, but where like the infinitely looping staircase and stuff.
Yeah, the MC Escher.
MC Escher. There you go.
Kind of that's the main inspiration.
Thank you for culturing me, but yeah, it sounds great. From the little I heard, because my God, my dog just decided, it's now's the time to start screaming in the back garden. Like,
I'm about to end this man's
I'm about to end. That's why I muted my mic. Because I was like, oh my God, is my dog really about to do this in the middle of a recording? Like, so I genuinely had to just go out there. But no, it sounds great, and it's basically available on you can find it everywhere at the moment. Basically, it's on PS4. It's on Switch. It's on Epic Game Store if you swing that way. If you don't, you can wait for the Steam release. It's great.
Yeah.
You should definitely check it out. It looked like it was fun. And you looked like you were having fun on stream.
Yeah, I know. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, that is that. What was the next topic? Because I have completely lost it now. I'm just completely out of...
Warner Brothers.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about them separately so that I have more timestamps, because that's what I love to do is make timestamps. Let's talk about Gotham Knights. So yesterday, as of recording, for you guys, it will have been the day before, Saturday, Warner Brothers had a big fan event, DC Fandom, if I remember correctly.
I believe that's what it was.
It was a bad pun.
Dumbest name ever. It also looked really bad. I don't know if anyone saw any of the streams. I saw little bits of them, but they were like...
I clicked in and it was just like 20 people in a group chat.
Yeah, basically, Hunter. For those who didn't for those of you who didn't see it, picture this, right? Imagine a massive, like 3D, badly rendered dome, right? Now imagine Warner Bros. Has sent some people some green screens so that they could sit in the dome and like host in the dome, so they just look like they're just in this fake world. And then they have Zoom calls behind them on the panels for the people that they couldn't be bothered. Yeah.
You remember that Mark Cerny thing?
Yeah,
it sounds like if they had tried to get people to actually fill in the spots in the audience with their webcams.
It kind of is like Mystery Science Theater kind of thing vibes going on. You know, it's like, yeah. But instead of Cerny having everyone in the front, everyone was at the back, and there was just these two people on really awkward green screens sitting in a virtual space going, I'm so excited to be here in my room and a green screen. It's like, but no, the two main announcements for us for people that care about games, the only two announcements about games were finally, after literally years of silence, we finally know both WB Games Montreal and Rocksteady what their projects are. I mean, Rocksteady's got leaked to hell and back.
Two of the most open secrets in video games.
I mean, I feel like Suicide Squad we'll talk about Suicide Squad later, but Suicide Squad was just plain, we knew about that game for so many years. Like, genuinely, it was the worst kept secret in the history of the world. Like,
yeah.
We knew that it was Suicide Squad, whereas with Gotham Knights, we knew that Court of Owls was in it, but we didn't know that it was necessarily what it was.
We didn't know. Yeah.
They've just had a really long advertising campaign. I think what was interesting is you'll know him, Hunter, from stuff like Kind of Funny. Imran Khan mentioned.
Oh yeah, Imran.
That he said to someone else on the Kind of Funny team. He said he basically gave the entire premise of what the Gotham Knights game was in October 2019 and said, oh yeah, they're probably going to announce it this month because we know everything about it and it's all been basically leaked to insiders. And here we are, like, how many months later? 10 months later? And it's only just now being announced. But Gotham Knights got announced, which is coming out next year for everything. You don't have to buy your choice of a refrigerator or a router this holiday to play this game. You can play it on your regular PS4 and Xbox One. But it's basically a brand new Batman game, not in the Arkham universe. And it basically is, you get to play as the Bat Fam, as they are calling it, the not Batman people. So it's basically a single player game. Yeah, single player game where you can choose which character you at least hate. And play as them throughout the entirety of it. Who are you going to play as? You've got basically it's Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, and Red Hood. Red Hood, right? It is Red Hood.
Red Hood, yeah.
It looks like Deadpool. I also thought it could be Deadshot as well. This literally could be anyone. Who is it? And I was like, it's Red Hood. But no, it's basically another Batman game, just with a couple of gimmicks, and Batman's quote unquote dead. Like
dead.
Captain America is quote unquote dead in this Avengers game. Yeah, they're really dead. I'm sure he'll show up at some point, but
just like how the Joker wasn't going to be the villain in all the Arkham games.
Exactly. No, exactly. But you guys have seen the trailer. What were your initial impressions of it? I'll go to you, Hunter, first, because I know you have mixed feelings about the Batman game. So go for it.
You know, maybe by 2021 is when it's supposed to come out, right? Next year.
Yeah.
I'll be in the mood for it. Mm-hmm. I'm also not too big on the other Bat Family people. I've never really cared about them as characters, except for like Robin was cool in the Teen Titans cartoon.
That's about it, right? Yeah.
But I don't care about any of them. You know, Batman being dead, interesting idea, I guess, but I don't believe it for a minute that it's going to stay that way.
I mean, I feel it's going to be
draw here. Would be that the Court of the Owls is a villain group that I've heard about forever. I don't read comics, so I don't know what the deal is, except for they're like a cloak and dagger society that's been like running things since the dawn of time or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't care.
I just know people get really excited for it. That's what all I've heard. So people are hyped for it. So yeah, I'm
interested to see where that would go. Mm-hmm. Despite me not caring so much about our player characters, I'm happy that it's not a games as a service thing, because
that was
I don't
my
care
thing,
about those anyway. And also with Suicide Squad and the Avengers, that's hitting a saturation point with specifically games as a
Suicide
service.
Squad were also games. We'll get to Suicide Squad later as well, but it's still not Avengers level games as a service. It's gonna be games as a service, but it's not as Avengers. We'll see.
Do you mean not as bad?
No, it's open world. It's like an open world. It's still kind of single player open world with co-op in it. It's not
Mm.
Avengers, which is basically select missions to play with friends. It's not that way, but it's still interesting. But no. Kane, what were your thoughts on as a massive modern gamer, as a massive Batman fan, number one Arkham fan right here, Kane? What do you have to say about this video game?
I mean, I've never played any of the Arkham games. I have only seen the trailer.
Mhm.
Looked all right. Seemed like it's kind of being that right genre, and we'll see where the story goes. I don't have too strong of opinions, but
It's interesting, right? To me, I'm looking forward to this quite a bit, solely because as soon as I saw the trailer, when I saw the first trailer, I'm like, okay, I can kind of get behind this. As much as I don't like all of the supporting characters as much as I like Batman, I do kind of like the idea of having a world where quote unquote Batman is gone. What the fuck happens? I just like the idea of having this kind of choice of, because it's not like you've just got Batman Junior 1, Batman Junior 2, because you've got Red Hood there who genuinely is a fucking murderer. So you
yeah,
genuinely, it feels like you have that weighed option of
He's
Batman's
Batman Junior
gone.
with the edgy teenage phase.
yeah, I don't know.
True.
Like my take on these, or at least Batman, is that the bad guys are always more interesting than Batman because he's not a very interesting character.
Yeah.
So with him gone, that's not a bad thing.
If it wasn't for Kevin
And
Conroy,
then if
Kevin Conroy, yeah, exactly.
if the bad guys are good, then the game will be good.
That's what I'm hoping
Yeah,
is.
Ethan,
Yeah.
you know what just occurred to me is
Go
because
for
it's
it.
not in the Arkham universe. That means that the Joker isn't dead, which means that he's going to be the bad. He's going to be the leader of the Court of the Owls.
I honestly think if Warner Brothers has learned if Warner Brothers Games Montreal has learned anything from Arkham Origins, it's okay, let's not do Joker because everyone bashed us for that last time. I feel like
Uh,
I feel like the Court of the Owls is the main antagonistic
yeah,
group. I feel like you'll see other people.
probably.
You've seen
You
Mr.
know,
Freeze already. You can guarantee that the Riddler will probably be in this. You can guarantee that
he
you'll
always
have
is.
Two-Face show up. You can guarantee those kind of things will happen. I'm just interested to see. I want to see more of this game because they sold me on the first trailer. Then on the second one, when I saw a co-op Robin come in, I'm like, oh god, it's games as a fucking service. I'm gonna cry. And then when they came back with the press release, and like, no, it's just a one-person game that you can have someone hop in and play two-player co-op with you if you want. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm interested again. But at the same time, there's certain costs to making a game co-op, right? Because
Yeah.
they're gonna have certain like opinion. They're gonna have certain things where like, okay, but what if there's people that do want to play this entire game in co-op, and what repercussions does that have? What like do we have to cut? And it's gonna be one
And
of
the
those things where it's
problem.
like, I'm just hoping the story's still strong. Because
Yeah.
most of the things when people add co-op to the game, one of the first things that usually gets stripped down is the storyline. Because they're like, oh, people are just playing with their friends anyway. They're not gonna care about they're not gonna be as engaged. They're gonna be more engaged just pissing about with their friends. So
Yeah.
the story usually kind of takes a backseat, and I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I don't think it will. Like Warner Brothers Montreal did a good job with the Arkham Origins story.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll apply the same, especially if they're going to use a villain like the Court of the Owls, which is a bunch of people's like favorites in a while, apparently.
Which look creepy as hell, by the way. I love the
Yeah.
idea of having like these creepy things in pods and everything, and like the glowing eyes and shit like that. I'm looking
Oh, we
forward
don't
to
need
that.
Scarecrow's fear toxin where we're going.
Oh, because Scarecrow was such a disappointment in Arkham Knight because he wasn't
Yeah.
scary at all. In Arkham Asylum, you had the jump scares and you had the creepy, sinister world where you literally had to break out of your own grave and then sneak around like him gazing over you. And then in Arkham Knight, it's just like, oh, here's some fear toxin. Now Joker's in your mind. Ooh, like that's basically the plot of the game, and it's just like, oh.
Yep.
So it'd be interesting to have like some like if they're like stalking you, like if there's just moments where they're just like you have no idea that they're there and they're just stalking you in the background and they just pounce at you and shit. I feel like that'd be really
Come at you like
interesting.
Man Bat did.
Yeah, kind of. Oh, we don't talk about Man Bat. No. But yeah, I feel like it has potential. I can't wait to see more. I'm glad that it's only like a year away. That's my thing. Is like I'm glad that it's not. It was the right call to have this come out first because I feel like Rocksteady is a company where you can go, okay, 2 years, people will be hyped and will follow that because it's Rocksteady. Whereas this, I'm like, okay, having it come out first and having it basically have its own moment before Rocksteady comes in, I think that's a good idea. and
That is a
I'm
better
I'm looking
idea.
forward to it. And then finally, you've got also was announced. I guess we'll just quickly mention it here. Suicide Squad, a game that was even worse leaked than the original than Gotham Knights. My God, have we known about this forever? What were your original thoughts on that trailer, Hunter?
Uh, I don't know. The characters seem to have a good dynamic with each other,
That's the one.
and
That's the one thing that's my main positive.
that's all I got really, because I
Mm-hmm.
don't care that much about the Suicide Squad as
Mm-hmm.
people. I mean, King Shark I've seen in the Harley Quinn cartoon for the little bit that I've watched that, and he was cool in that. So maybe they can do something fun with him. Deadshot's always been boring because dude who just uses guns is lame.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree.
yeah.
He's the lamest version of them. I feel like that's why, out of all the characters, like I like Harley as a character, and
Yeah, Harley Quinn's cool.
I probably when I pick this up, I probably will be maining her just because I kind of like the idea of having someone that's like swinging from grapple hooks and hitting people around the head with a baseball bat. That just sounds like fun, right? But to me, it's just like I don't know why, but from that trailer, the person that left the best impression for me was fucking Captain Boomerang of all characters, just because of how stupid this
He was
character
kind of
is.
funny, yeah.
And this character's always been stupid, and he was stupid in the Suicide Squad movie, and he's going to be stupid
yeah, but
again
he
in
was
the
like
new one.
bad stupid.
Yeah.
In that.
Like but it's just one of those things where it's just like time and time again, just people are like, no, seriously, this character's so fucking dumb, but we're just going to do him anyway. And I feel like that's what's great about him. He is stupid. He's going around with a fucking boomerang, and he's Australian, so he's just going to be screaming fucking swear words every 20 seconds. But it's just like I kind of like the dynamic they went for. The biggest comparison I made to this trailer was it's giving me huge Sunset Overdrive vibes. That's the vibe that I got from this trailer was Insomniac's Sunset Overdrive, which was extremely underrated. It's a great
thing to be
it's a
compared
great
to.
game.
It looks like a good game. Sunset Overdrive. That was always a game. It was like, oh, if I had an Xbox, I'd play it.
That's the one thing this generation that Xbox had that bummed me out that I couldn't play.
Yeah.
I find it sad because Insomniac owns the rights to Sunset Overdrive, which is why it wasn't on Sony's console, because Sony wanted to own Sunset Overdrive. So, and Xbox was like, you can own the IP, but Microsoft still owns the publishing rights to Sunset Overdrive. So Sony, even though they own Sunset Overdrive, can't put it on PlayStation because Microsoft has the publishing rights.
I imagine there might be some kind of workaround if they like call it Sunset Overdrive Blabba-dee Habba-da-da edition or whatever.
I feel like it'll one day show up on PlayStation consoles at some point. I feel like it'll possibly happen, especially because Insomniac is so big that they have so many projects going all the time. But
yeah,
that was my one thing is it looks like
they'd probably be saving that
yeah.
like right as a second one gets announced if they do
probably.
another one of those.
But no, my thing with Suicide Squad is it looks fun. Obviously, it was just like the first like cinematic trailer, right? If it looks as good as that cinematic trailer, then hell yeah, all in for that because it looked great. Like the production value of that trailer was fucking great. For the people complaining that why isn't this a Justice League game? I've said this before and I'll say it again. Superman's the most boring superhero you could ever possibly make a video game for. So I don't know why anyone would ever want a Superman game because it wouldn't be fun.
Well, as far as stakes go, yeah, but as far as the number of toys you have to work with, then maybe you could do something interesting with Superman. But
here's the thing, right? My problem with superhero games in general is it's never the superhero, it's always the villains that make it. The reason that Spider-Man and Batman have been so good in the video game realm in terms of with Insomniac and with Rocksteady isn't because of the superhero necessarily themselves, and it is to an extent, but all superheroes should be fun to play when you think about it. If it's a superhero, they should have some fun to it. It's their rogues gallery that makes it. Spider-Man's rogues gallery and Batman's rogues gallery are probably the strongest of Marvel and DC respectively. So I feel like that's what makes them so great is having Joker and Two-Face and having whether it's Kingpin or whether it's Green Goblin or Doc Ock or having all these random characters, you their rogue gallery makes it. Superman, oh wow, Lex Luthor, great. Moving on,
Lex Luthor, Darkseid, Brainiac, and those are
just
like
all
the
kind of
that's
it. That's like it. And like characters like Brainiac have moved to the point where now they're just kind of, it's a bit like Thanos, right? Where it's just like, oh, when the Justice League get together, it's usually someone like him that they're facing, right? It's never like, it's not just
that's
like
also what Darkseid is.
Yeah, and
so
Darkseid, it's not just
Lex Luthor who, seeing him fight in his little robot suit like he does in Injustice just looks a little silly.
Yeah, but no, I'm just like, that's why I'm glad that I like the Suicide Squad. it's not been a good decade for the Suicide Squad so far. Like this past decade was not a good one for them, but I like the
It's
concept
a
of
new
it.
decade now, though.
Exactly. So James Gunn
Well,
can kick it first, and then Rocksteady can come in and get the baseball bat and just put it down. I hope that both the new film and the new game is good, but we'll just have to wait and see. I guess I don't really have much to say because it was a cinematic, but I'm looking forward to
yeah,
it.
there's
And
not much to
also,
go on, really.
killing the Justice League is a fun dynamic. I'd like to see how this actually plays out. I just feel like it's just going to be I'm good again, guys. You kicked the good back into me. Thank you. And then, like, Superman flies
Nah.
off all happy or whatever. If they actually go around and kill the fucking Justice League, hell yeah. But,
That'd be bold.
yeah, but I don't see it happening. It'll be interesting, though. We'll have to wait and see. Finally, we'll just wrap it up with these real quick, I guess. Are you ready? We're doing the quick fire. The quick fire. Ethan and Hunter have finally finished the fucking game, so you can stop having to listen to us about it. I'm gonna start off.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna start off. Let me quickly write the timestamp. We'll go for that one. I finished Ghost of Tsushima. Hooray! It's done. It's dead. I finally did
Hooray.
it. It's pretty good. I feel like the comments that I made last week sum up what I have to say in general. I feel like at the end of the day, it is just your standard checkbox, tick, 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 open world game of complete everything, do this, find X power, go to X point on the minimap. It's nothing new. There are things that it does new that are great. Like I love the wind guiding you. I love the art direction and the overall world design's pretty great. But overall, it's still just an open world game. And in my opinion, out of all the Sony worldwide first party games that have come out, that I have played. I'm not counting Days Gone. I'm counting like the main boys. I'm counting like Insomniac,
Yeah.
Naughty Dog, Sony Santa Monica,
Gorilla.
Gorilla. You know, I'm counting and Sucker Punch out of the top five, right? Out of the top five and their latest games compared to Last of Us Part Two, God of War, Spider Man, and Horizon Zero Dawn. Ghost of Tsushima is right at the bottom of that list for me. I feel like even some of the things that Ghost shines at, I think Horizon did better. So, you know, it's one of those weird things where it's like they're part of the same family. They're both part of PlayStation Studios. And yet Sucker Punch saw what even got a chance to play it for fucking 3 years because Horizon's been out for that long and still went, no, we're going to do things inferior still. Like, I still feel like the overall, the things in the world are lacking and some of the quests are just downright awful. I feel like quality over quantity would have really done them a favor.
Some of them
the
felt like they went on, as far as side quests, they went on way longer than I was expecting them to.
Yeah, some of them too long.
There were a bunch of steps where I felt like, oh, I'm running here and doing this. I thought I would be ready to be just killing the person by now.
Yeah, like they take a load of side quests that are basically, Kane, because you haven't played it, hunting one person down. You're basically trying to find one person for 2 side quests, and both of those side quests go on for 9 side quests each. And it gets to a point where you're like, does it really take this long to find this one person? Does it really? And it's just, they're fine.
Yeah.
They're interesting. There's some interesting moments, but it didn't wow me like it wowed everyone else on release. Like I think that everyone's said, like, everyone put it up here, and I'm like, it's more like here. It's not awful. It's not like down on the floor, but it's not as great as everyone makes it out. So if you like the look of it, go ahead and play it. But I don't know.
Yeah, if you like those kind of games, I still think it's better than most of the offerings for that specific type of open world game.
Oh, definitely. But if you're going in expecting Breath of the Wild or something new to the open world genre,
yeah, don't do that.
It's fucking not. It really isn't. And everyone that made the Breath of the Wild comparisons need to stop because it's not an apt comparison at all. So, yeah. Those are my quick negative thoughts when I think the game's actually pretty decent. And then finally, Hunter, just wrap it up with us really quick.
I beat
finished
Persona
5 Royal. What did you think?
Last week. It was great.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We need to do a spoiler cast on it again. We're definitely doing it. I know I've made the joke on the podcast for like the past 5 weeks of spoiler cast 2, or I said before this started, spoiler cast. We haven't decided what we're going to call it yet, but we're definitely, if Jack finally gets his arse in gear and starts playing the game, then we'll definitely do a second spoiler cast with everyone. Just because so many people have played this game at this point that I feel like we should just talk about it more. But now, quick summation of your thoughts, Hunter. Go for it.
Oh, I really liked it. Everything that they added made it better. The new stuff at the end is the best part of the game now. The two new characters are the best characters in the game.
It's true. Wow, it's as if I don't chat bullshit, guys. It's as if I'm right.
For once, yeah.
I'm offended. I'm
just playing. But
carry on.
Oh yeah. Last year when I played, there was a tie as far as the ranking in my opinions is when I played Nier Automata and Persona 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even when I made my video recapping my favorite games of the year, that those rotated their spots in the script the whole time I was writing. Royal broke that tie and broke it hard. It's probably in my top 5 favorite RPG, at least JRPGs now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was real good.
It is. It's pretty great. Hey, Cade, when are you gonna play it? Am I right?
What am I gonna play?
He's not even paying attention.
When? I'm not gonna play Persona 5.
You watched Sam do it. That's good enough.
Yeah, I've watched it, parts of it.
Kane's been a good avid Let's Play watcher, as in the Discord. A load of people have just been playing Persona 5, so we just
show up whenever they have finished their grinding to watch the plot.
Yeah, there was no grinding.
Not in P5. P4, Kane definitely saw me in P4 just sitting there fucking hitting my head on the fucking desk as I was just grinding for hours.
Yeah.
Whatever those things were you were grinding for money.
They're called Timmies. It's the
the golden hands.
The golden hands, yeah. But no, it's interesting. Kane, it's only a quick 130 hours. You can do it. I believe you
clocked in at 100.
You know, some of us have jobs.
How many did you clock in at?
I believe it was 135 at the end.
Oh my god! I thought I took my time and I was at 130. Even you overtook me. Wow, that's crazy. That's actually crazy.
How long did Sam take?
150. But he was Sam's the kind of person where he'll just leave the game running and then go and get a drink.
Slower.
Yeah, Jack's on his way to 170. So the spoiler cast's a long way away, folks. It's a long way away. But other than that, I think Jack's the last person to play it out of the group. That's it, you know. Yeah. Out of the group, that's it. After Jack's done, that's it. Unless someone else rolls in and is like, "Hey, I've bought a PS4." I think this is the last time I have to watch someone else play this game this year. So hey, there you
this year. That's this year rolled out.
This year, I've played the game myself. I watched Sam play through the entirety of it. I watched a YouTuber play through half of it. Yeah, I watched Jack play through the first 3 parts. I don't know. I can't stop watching it. It's my favorite game of all time. I've said this.
Just watch it. If you've ever made Persona content, Ethan is in need of your content.
That's why. That's the thing, right? That's why video projects have been taking so long from my point of view, is because I have 4 video ideas right now and 3 of them are Persona, and I'm just why make when I can just watch other people? Hey. But no, I swear videos will be out some point.
I didn't stream it when I play it, so at least you didn't have to watch me.
Oh no.
Well, you could do another playthrough.
Roll it back.
You can watch.
Roll it back. No.
I don't know about that.
That way you can waifu someone else.
Who did you, by the way?
Kasumi. Yeah.
Congrats. That's 3 for 3 now.
It's the one that makes the most sense.
It is true. It isn't canon, but...
But it is.
It is canon.
It's not, but...
It's not, but it fucking is. And you're wrong if you think otherwise. Smiley face. This is what I'm like. This is with Rize as well. I'm it's this. There's no wrong choices, but there definitely is the right one. Okay, guys? That's all I'm saying. But there you go. I think that about does it. I think we're good to go, guys. Have we covered everything? I don't think there's any other topics that we...
I think that's everything we had to talk about.
Yeah.
That is great. So I guess we'll wrap it up there. Kane, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, at Kane of Paki. The thing will come up on screen saying your name, but there you go. People can find you there. Yeah. You can just find me. You can just find me.
CANEOFPACCI.
There you go. I just like the idea. You're just like, yeah, you can find me.
Hey, it'll be linked down below. You know,
Stalk
no
me,
big deal.
fool. Like, yeah, Hunter, where can people find you?
YouTube.com/ReaperHunter23.
Excellent. And you can find me at Chaotic Ether on Twitter and Twitch. Get me to 50 followers so I can start doing stupid stuff on stream. Thank you. I need those channel points, damn it. I'm not going to stream for it, but I want those channel points. So there you go. But on that has been our show. Remember, you can find us every Monday, 5 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. Eastern on bit.ly/thegiggers on YouTube or on podcast services everywhere. We'll be live most of the time every Monday. We take a couple of weeks off every now and again. But other than that, I think we're good to go. That has been our show. Thank you ever so much for listening. And we'll be back next week with some more HGO, probably on opening night live and other things that have happened. So yeah, until then, see ya.
Toodaloo.
Bye.